My name is Olivia, and the first time my heart shattered, it wasn't because of Daniel. It was because of my mother. I was 19, in love with a boy who wasn't perfect, but he was mine. Daniel was steady, reliable, ambitious. He didn't shower me with expensive gifts. Instead, he stayed late to help me study for exams. He saved his paychecks from part-time work and told me he wanted to open his own firm one day. He had plans, and he said I was part of them. At 19, those words meant everything. I believed we were building something real. But to my mother, it wasn't enough. She wanted more status, more shine, more of everything I wasn't. She wanted Daniel for my sister, Lily. Lily was the star. She always had been. She was the girl who drew eyes when she walked into a room, the one who laughed too loud and still made it sound charming. Teachers adored her. Boys circled around her. And my mother treated her like gold. I was the quiet one, the shadow at family dinners. I knew I wasn't the favorite, but I never thought she would take Daniel away from me. Until the night I came home early. The house was quiet, lights dim. I walked toward the kitchen, keys still in my hand, books under my arm. That's when I heard it. My mother's voice, calm but sharp, like she was giving an instruction, not advice. If you want a real future, Daniel, choose Lily. Olivia will never be enough. I froze. Silence stretched. Then Daniel's voice, low, conflicted. But I care about her. She's good to me. Good isn't success, my mother pressed. You want ambition? You want doors opened? You want a partner who will shine beside you? That's Lily. Olivia, she'll hold you back. You need to think carefully. My chest hollowed out. My hand pressed to the wall for balance. I wanted to scream, to run in, to fight for myself. But I didn't. I backed away before they saw me, my throat burning, my stomach twisted. The next week, Daniel ended things. No argument, no explanation, just a cold. It's not working anymore. He couldn't even meet my eyes. He didn't have to. I already knew who had ended it for him. Within a month, Lily and Daniel were together. My mother didn't hide it. She paraded them at family dinners, smiling as if she had orchestrated the perfect match. She called Daniel the son she never had, and praised Lily for finding someone with a future. And me? I sat at the same table, invisible. The first dinner nearly broke me. Lily held Daniel's hand under the table. My mother asked him about internships and praised him for his work ethic. She didn't ask me a single question. I forced myself to smile, but every word was a knife. I learned to live like a ghost in my own family, to eat in silence, to clap when they announced their engagement, to stand in the back of photos while my mother glowed with pride beside them. But pain doesn't die. It waits. I left. I went to college out of state. I worked jobs, studied late, and built something on my own. Every long night, every setback, every achievement. I carried their betrayal with me. It didn't crush me. It sharpened me. Years passed. Lily married Daniel. My mother adored him like her own son. To the outside world, they looked unshakable. But I knew better. Marriages built on betrayal crack eventually. And when they did, I would be there. I wasn't the 19-year-old they dismissed anymore. I wasn't the quiet shadow in Lily's glow. I was stronger, harder, and ready. And when the day came, when my mother saw me standing beside Daniel again, it wasn't pride on her face. It wasn't triumph. Her smile disappeared. Her skin went pale. And in a voice so faint it trembled, she whispered, "We made a mistake." She was right. That mistake was about to tear apart everything they thought they had. And I was ready to be the one who destroyed it. The night Daniel ended it is burned into my memory. We sat in his car outside my apartment. The heater hummed, the streetlights cast pale shadows across the dashboard. He didn't look at me. His hands gripped the steering wheel as if he were bracing for impact. "Olivia," he said quietly, "it's not working anymore." I waited for more. For a reason. For a fight. For him to admit something. But nothing came. "That's it?" I asked, my voice shaking. He nodded once. His jaw was tight, his eyes fixed on the windshield. He didn't meet my gaze. I wanted to scream at him. To tell him I'd heard my mother's words. To ask if he was really so weak, so easily swayed. But I didn't. I sat in silence as the truth pressed down on me. He wasn't brave enough to admit it. Within weeks, the betrayal was official. I walked into the diner one afternoon with a friend, And there they were, Lily and Daniel, sitting in the booth we used to claim, laughing, her hand resting on his. The air drained from my lungs. My friend froze, her eyes darting between me and them. But I didn't cry. I didn't collapse. I stood there long enough for Daniel to see me, for Lily's smirk to spread. And then I turned and walked out. By the next family dinner, my mother had erased me from the story. She introduced Daniel as if he had always belonged to Lily. Our Daniel, she called him, like he had never been mine. That night, Lily announced their relationship officially. My mother clapped her hands, glowing with pride. My father sat quietly, staring at his plate. No one looked at me. No one cared that I was sitting there bleeding inside. I smiled anyway, because I refused to give them the satisfaction of seeing me break. But inside something shifted. It wasn't sadness anymore. It was rage. Over the next months I kept my head down. I finished my classes. I worked double shifts at the library and a cafe. I saved every dollar I could. My mother barely noticed me, too busy helping Lily plan dates and outfits for her perfect boyfriend. Then came the engagement. I came home one weekend, and the house was lit up like Christmas. Balloons, champagne, my mother in her best dress. Lily flashed the ring across the table like it was a crown. Daniel sat beside her, silent but obedient. My mother raised a glass. To Lily and Daniel, the couple who were meant to be. The words hit me like stones. Meant to be. I stared at Daniel across the table. For a moment, his eyes flickered toward me. Just a flicker. But enough to tell me he remembered. Enough to tell me he wasn't entirely proud. But it didn't matter. The engagement went forward. The wedding followed. And I was left standing in the background, a ghost in the photographs. That night after the wedding I packed my bags and left. No more family dinners. No more being the forgotten daughter. I went to college out of state. I built my life with nothing but grit. I studied harder than anyone else. I worked 3 jobs at once. I networked. I climbed. Every late night, every rejection, every success. I carried their betrayal with me like fuel. And it worked. Slowly, I became someone they couldn't ignore. I bought my first car in cash. I landed a job at a firm that valued me. I built connections that mattered. Every step forward was a reminder. I didn't need them. But the betrayal never left me. It burned quietly. And I knew deep down that one day I would return. Years later, cracks appeared in Lily and Daniel's perfect marriage. Whispers reached me through old friends. Fights in public. Cold silences at gatherings. And when I finally saw them again, the shine was gone from Lily's smile. I wasn't 19 anymore. I wasn't invisible. And when Daniel's eyes found mine across the room, something flickered again. Recognition. Regret. That was the moment I knew. The story wasn't finished. The betrayal that destroyed me was about to circle back. And this time I wouldn't be the quiet girl in the corner. I would be the storm. The first time I noticed the cracks, it was subtle. A friend from home called me late at night, her voice lowered. "Olivia, you didn't hear this from me, but Daniel and Lily are fighting." At a party last weekend, she stormed out crying. He stayed behind drinking with his colleagues. People are talking. I almost dismissed it. For years I had trained myself to block them out, to live my life without looking back. But that sentence, "people are talking," echoed in my head. Weeks later, another whisper reached me. Daniel was skipping events. Lily showed up at a wedding alone, pretending everything was fine. My mother brushed it off with excuses, but the pattern grew. Then I saw it myself. I was back in town for a work conference. By chance I stopped by a cafe I loved in college. And there they were. Daniel sat alone at a corner table, his tie loosened, his face drawn. Lily wasn't with him. Across from him sat a woman I didn't know. Younger, polished, leaning too close. Daniel laughed, a laugh I hadn't heard in years, the kind that came when he wanted to impress someone. My stomach tightened. I watched them unseen behind a divider. His hand brushed hers. She didn't pull away. He didn't look guilty. That was when it clicked. The perfect couple my mother had fought for was rotting from the inside. I didn't confront him. Not then. I left the cafe quietly. But my heart pounded with something I hadn't felt in years: opportunity. From that moment on I paid attention. I called old friends, listened carefully, asked small questions. Every answer added to the picture. Daniel was working late more often. Lily complained to friends about distance. Neighbors mentioned arguments loud enough to hear through the walls. Piece by piece I gathered it all. At a networking event months later, I bumped into an old classmate who had worked at Daniel's firm. Over drinks she leaned close and whispered, "He's reckless. There are rumors about him and a client. The partners are watching him closely. If he slips up, it'll cost him everything." That night I wrote it all down. Names, dates, places. A record of their unraveling. Meanwhile, my mother stayed blind. At family dinners, she still paraded them as perfect. She told anyone who would listen how proud she was of Lily for marrying a man with such promise. I sat across the table smiling politely, while my mind worked like a chessboard. One evening I left dinner early and parked a block away. I watched their house. Hours passed. Lily's car sat alone in the driveway. At midnight, Daniel's headlights finally appeared. He stumbled out, loosened tie, jacket missing. A woman dropped him off. Not Lily. I raised my phone and took the first picture. It wasn't just about revenge anymore. It was about proof. Proof that the golden couple my mother worshipped was nothing but a lie. Over the next months I built a file. Receipts from restaurants Lily never visited. Photos of Daniel with different women. Texts forwarded by friends who had seen too much. A trail even Lily couldn't deny. But I didn't share it. Not yet. Timing mattered. The foundation of their marriage was already crumbling. I just had to wait until the right moment to strike. And when I finally saw Daniel again, face to face for the first time in years, it was at a charity gala. Lily wasn't by his side. He spotted me across the room. His smile faltered. His glass trembled slightly before he set it down. For a heartbeat it was just us. His eyes carried recognition and regret. I didn't look away. I let him see me, stronger than before, untouchable now. And in that moment I knew the balance was shifting. Daniel wasn't just crumbling as a husband. He was crumbling as a man. And I held the proof that would one day destroy him, and the family who had betrayed me. I spent one long weekend reviewing everything I had collected. Photographs, screenshots, notes from calls, a map of places where Daniel had been when he claimed to be somewhere else. The file felt heavy in my hands. Felt like proof, but I knew it was not enough. I needed structure. I needed allies who would hold the line when it got hard. I called the one person who had always believed me. My friend Harper. We met after work at a quiet diner off the highway. The room hummed with low conversation and the smell of coffee. I slid the folder across the table. She opened it, page by page, her brow tightening with each photograph. "He is reckless," she said. "And Lily does not see it. She refuses to see it," I said. My mother trained her to ignore anything that threatens the picture. Harper closed the folder. "Then you cannot bring this to them empty-handed. You need counsel. And you need a plan that is lawful and clean." She held my gaze. "No scenes. No shouting. You want one strike that cannot be undone." She was right. I was done being the girl who absorbed pain. I would be exact. The next morning I met a lawyer named Grace Patel. She came recommended by two people who did not know each other. That was enough for me. Her office was small, neat, lined with binders. She read the first 20 pages without speaking. Then she looked up. "You have a pattern," she said. "Infidelity is a storm on its own. But this touches reputation and possibly the firm. If he used clients to cover personal outings, that is a problem for him. Not for you. We will not accuse without proof. We will collect proof, preserve it, and choose the moment." I nodded. I do not want a public brawl. I want the truth to hold. Grace outlined steps in simple, steady sentences. First, we create a clean evidence chain. We log each item with dates and sources. We add third-party affidavits where possible. Second, we gather corroboration. Staff who saw him. Receipts that match time and place. Building entries. Third, we secure your safety. If your mother or sister react badly, emotions will run high. You keep boundaries. You avoid private confrontations. You let the plan speak. "I can do that," I said. "I have waited years. I can wait a little longer." Grace called in her investigator, a quiet man named Leon with careful eyes. He made copies, sealed envelopes, and began to sketch timelines. He asked plain questions. Did I have call logs? Did I have card statements? Did I have a list of Daniel's regular haunts? I handed over what I had. He filled the gaps. That night I called my father. We had not spoken much since the wedding. He answered on the second ring, voice tired. Dad, I said softly, I need to ask you something. Did you hear Mom speak to Daniel before he left me? There was a long pause. Then he exhaled. Yes. The word hit me in the chest. He continued, steady but sad. I told her it was cruel. She said she was helping you both. I should have stopped it. I did not. I am sorry, Olivia. I closed my eyes. Thank you for telling the truth. Are you safe? He asked. Are you doing this for revenge or for peace? Both, I said. But I will do it right. He did not argue. If you need me to testify to what I heard, I will. I thanked him and hung up. My hand shook, not from fear, but from the feeling of the ground shifting at last. The next week Leon brought updates. He had located 2 servers who remembered Daniel. One had a receipt signed on a night Lily was out of town. Another had witnessed a small scene when a woman stormed off and Daniel paid cash to keep it quiet. He had pulled entry logs from a hotel. He had matched a license plate to a late-night drop-off at my sister's house. Every new line tightened the net. Meanwhile, Harper worked the social side. She went to 2 events where Lily would be present and listened. She returned with careful notes. People see the cracks, she said. Your mother is still covering, but friends are talking. Lily is brittle. She snaps when anyone mentions the firm. Grace refined the plan. We will not confront in private. We will not give them room to call this jealousy. We choose a moment with witnesses. It must be anchored to something they cannot deny. An anniversary party. A gala. A family event with cameras and eyes. Then we place the truth where it cannot be swept aside. I thought about the place where they had first paraded their perfect union. My mother's house. The long dining table. The speeches about destiny. I felt the old ache, but over it something harder settled. Grace continued. You will not raise your voice. You will not argue. You will hand the envelope to the person who most needs to see it. Not Daniel. Not your mother. Lily. You give her the choice your mother stole from you. You let her decide if she wants the truth. If she denies it, the room will see. If she reads it, the room will still see. Harper nodded. This is not a fight. This is a mirror. I asked the question that had lived under my tongue for years. And if Daniel tries to smear me? If he says I staged it? If my mother calls me bitter? What then? Grace's answer was simple. Then we open the second envelope. The one with the third-party statements and the logs. We do not threaten. We present. The facts will do the work. In the days that followed, I rehearsed. I practiced my breath. I practiced the walk from door to table. I practiced the single sentence I would say to Lily. Only one. No more. You deserve the truth I was denied. The invitation arrived like a sign. My mother announced a family celebration for her birthday. She loved public moments. She loved toasting her choices. She expected me to show up quiet and grateful. I RSVP'd yes. Harper insisted on coming as my +1. Grace approved. You need a witness who is not family, she said. Someone calm. Someone who will keep you from reacting if they try to provoke you. The night before the dinner, Leon delivered the final piece. A short clip from a hotel lobby camera, obtained through a legal request. Daniel, with the same woman from the cafe, laughing, his hand at her back, the timestamp mapping to a night Lily had posted a photograph from home. Leon placed the still frame in the top of the envelope. It is clean, he said. No commentary. Just images and logs. I slept for 3 hours. I woke before dawn. I pressed my palms against the sink and told myself one clear fact. I was not 19. I was not invisible. I did not need my mother's permission to exist. We arrived early to my mother's house. The driveway was full by the hour. Guests moved through the entryway, all perfume and polished shoes. My mother worked the room, radiant with attention. Lily stood near the piano in a dress that photographed well. Daniel arrived 5 minutes late, confident and careless, greeting guests as if no one could see the hairline cracks under his smile. Harper took my hand once. "You have this," she said. "Say only what you plan to say." Grace waited 2 blocks away on call, ready to come if needed. Leon sat in a car on the street with a copy of the file. My father hovered by the back porch, eyes on me, a small nod that said he remembered and that he would not look away this time. My mother clinked her glass. "Family," she announced. "Thank you for coming. Tonight is about joy. About the blessings of good choices and strong marriages." The words slid over the room like oil. I stepped forward. My heart beat slow and heavy, but my voice was steady. "Lily," I said, "may I speak with you for 1 minute? Here. In front of everyone." Lily blinked, startled, then smirked like old times. "Olivia, what are you doing?" I held out the envelope. "I am giving you what I was denied. The truth. You can open it or not. It is your choice." She stared at it, then at me, then at Daniel. He tried to laugh it off. "Olivia loves drama. Do not indulge this." My mother's smile thinned. "Olivia, do not spoil the evening." I did not look at either of them. I kept my eyes on my sister. "Your choice," I repeated. "Not theirs." Lily took the envelope. She slid her finger under the seal. Daniel's face drained of color. My mother reached out too late. The room went silent as Lily pulled out the first photograph and saw the timestamp. Her eyes lifted to mine, and the glass in her hand began to tremble. Lily's fingers trembled as she held the photographs. The guests leaned closer, whispers spreading like wildfire. My mother hissed under her breath. "Olivia, enough." Daniel reached for the envelope, but Lily pulled it back against her chest. For the first time in years, I saw uncertainty in her eyes. She didn't speak. Not yet. She slipped the pictures back inside and left the room. Daniel followed, his jaw tight. My mother tried to laugh, pretending it was nothing, but the tension in the room was thick. I had cracked the mask, but the strike wasn't complete. Harper squeezed my hand under the table. "Phase 1, she whispered. "Now we plan the rest." Over the next days, Lily's silence was louder than any words. She didn't call me, didn't confront me, but I knew she was processing. Daniel avoided me entirely. My mother kept sending messages, cold, clipped sentences demanding apologies. I ignored them. I sat with Harper and Grace to map the next move. Grace laid out the documents on her desk. "You've pierced the surface. Now we aim for the moment where denial is impossible." "What do you mean?" I asked. "We wait until Daniel tries to reassert control," Grace explained. "He will. Men like him always do. He'll try to convince Lily you lied. He'll call you jealous. He'll make you the problem. That is when you show the second envelope, the one with the corroboration." Lynn added calmly. "Receipts. Witness statements. Logs. The kind of evidence that doesn't vanish under words." Harper leaned forward. "And where do we drop it?" "It has to be in public or it will disappear in excuses." Grace nodded. "A family-centered event. Not a courtroom yet. Somewhere he believes he controls the room." That chance came sooner than I thought. My mother invited everyone to Sunday dinner the following week. She framed it as a chance to clear the air. Her tone in the voicemail was sharp, commanding. She wanted control back. Harper met me for coffee that morning. "She wants to break you down," she warned. "Don't let her." "I won't," I said. "This time, I'm not walking in empty-handed." At dinner, the tension was thick. My mother sat at the head of the table, Daniel beside her, Lily pale and quiet. The first 20 minutes passed in strained small talk. Finally, Daniel leaned back and said, "Olivia, whatever game you're playing, it ends now. My marriage isn't your stage." I held his gaze. "Calm. Steady. Then explain this." I slid the second envelope across the table. Lily reached for it before he could. She pulled out receipts. Meals for 2 in places she had never been. Witness statements signed and notarized. Hotel entry logs with timestamps matching nights she'd posted photos from home. Daniel's face shifted from anger to fear. He reached for the papers, but Lily held them tight. Her hand shook as she read, her knuckles white. "This is lies," Daniel snapped. "Fabrications." She's desperate. Grace had prepared me for that exact line. I slid one more piece forward. A signed affidavit from a server who had recognized Daniel with another woman. His handwriting on a bill time-stamped and matched. Lily's breath caught. She didn't look at me. She looked at him. Is it true? Daniel's silence was answer enough. My mother slammed her hand on the table. Stop this circus. Olivia, you've humiliated us enough. I stayed calm. No, Mom. You humiliated yourself the day you chose for him. I'm only showing what you didn't want to see. The room fell into chaos. Lily crying, Daniel sputtering excuses, my mother raging. But beneath it all, something new had begun. The perfect image was gone. The foundation was crumbling. And for the first time, I wasn't the ghost in the room. I was the one holding the truth. Daniel stormed out of the house, slamming the door behind him. My mother chased after him. Lily sat frozen with the papers in her lap. And when she finally lifted her head, her eyes met mine. Not with hate, but with something else. Something that told me this wasn't the end. It was only the beginning of what came next. The fallout from that dinner lingered like smoke after a fire. Lily didn't call me. My mother avoided me, though her silence was more dangerous than her words. And Daniel was everywhere. He sent me messages late at night. Long walls of text shifting from anger to pleading. You're ruining lives, Olivia. You don't understand the pressure I'm under. This isn't fair to Lily. Stop before you destroy the whole family. I ignored every word. But each message confirmed what Grace had warned me. He was trying to regain control. A week later, Harper called me at dawn. Her voice was tense. He's moving fast. A rumor spreading that you're bitter. That you forged everything. He's already whispering to your mother's friends. He's building a shield. My stomach tightened. Grace had predicted this too, but hearing it out loud made it real. So what do? I asked. We tighten our case, Harper said. And we prepare for him to strike back harder. That strike came quicker than I expected. 2 days later, I received a letter, official stamped, delivered by courier. It was a cease and desist from Daniel's lawyer, claiming I had fabricated evidence to slander him. The words were sharp. Defamation, harassment, malicious intent. He was threatening to take me to court. I sat frozen at my kitchen table, the letter trembling in my hands. For a second, the old fear returned, the fear of being silenced, dismissed, crushed. But then I called Grace. She answered on the first ring. I read the letter out loud. She listened quietly, then said firmly, "Good. This is the mistake I've been waiting for." Mistake? I asked. He's escalating too fast, Grace explained. If he drags this into court, it opens the door for us to present everything under oath. The very thing he's desperate to avoid. He's panicking. That letter isn't power, it's proof he's afraid. Her calm steadied me. She instructed me to forward every message, every letter, every detail. Harper scanned the documents. Leon checked the seals. Every piece went into the file. But Daniel wasn't finished. At the next family gathering, my cousin's engagement party, he tried again. He cornered me near the patio, a drink in his hand, his eyes bloodshot. "Why are you doing this?" he hissed. "You've always been jealous. You think anyone believes you over me? Over Lily? Over Mom?" I didn't flinch. I kept my voice even. I don't need them to believe me. I need the truth to stand. And it will. His hand tightened on his glass. For a moment I thought he might throw it. But then Lily appeared. She touched his arm, her eyes wary. "Daniel, please," she whispered. He pulled away and stormed off. Lily stayed. Her eyes flicked to me, uncertain, searching. For the first time she looked less like my rival and more like someone caught in the same trap. That night Harper texted me a single line, "He's slipping. Keep steady." But the pivot came the following morning. Leon arrived at my apartment, his face unusually grim. He dropped a folder on my table. Inside were photographs. My car. My apartment building. Taken at night from different angles. Where did these come from? I asked, my chest tightening. "They were left at my office door," Leon said. "No note. No signature. But it's a warning. Someone wants you to feel watched." The room spun. This wasn't just whispers and rumors anymore. It was intimidation. Grace reacted swiftly. "We log it. We report it. and we use it. Every scare tactic becomes more evidence of his desperation. Still, fear not at me. I wasn't 19 anymore. But the shadows outside my window felt heavier that night. Harper stayed over, refusing to let me be alone. "They're trying to break your resolve," she whispered. "Don't let them." I nodded, but inside I knew. This wasn't just about revenge anymore. It was about survival. The next morning, I opened my email to find a new message. No sender name. Just a single line. "Stop or the next photograph won't be of your car. It will be of you." Grace did not flinch at the threat. She leaned over my laptop and spoke like a metronome. "We move now. No speeches. No scenes. Clean law. Clean chain." She called Leon. "Prepare delivery sets. 3 copies. 1 for the managing partner. 1 for the firm's compliance officer. 1 sealed for the judge." Then she looked at me. "You hand nothing to Daniel. You hand truth to the people who can end him." That night was the firm's charity gala. Black tie. Photographers at the door. The same room where my mother once paraded him as a man with a future. Harper zipped my dress and pressed my shoulders. "Do not argue," she said. "Do not explain. Put the mirror in the right hands. Let them look." Leon waited outside the venue with a messenger case. Inside were binders labeled and tabbed. Receipts. Signed statements. Hotel entry logs. The lobby camera still. A short memo from Grace. Dates, totals, policy violations in plain language. At the back, a notarized index of sources. Another envelope held the cease and desist he sent me, marked as retaliation. We entered with the late wave. The room glowed with glass and light. Daniel stood near the stage in a fitted suit, laughing too loudly. Lily kept to his side, pale fingers tense around her clutch. My mother was there too. She had chosen a dress that demanded attention. At the sight of me, her smile thinned, then steadied into something colder. She turned away as if the room would follow. Harper pointed with her chin. Managing partner. Gray hair. Red pocket square. Leon had already briefed me. I crossed the floor without stopping. "Mr. Carver," I said quietly, "I have materials compliance needs tonight. They concern your partner, Daniel Hart. This is not gossip. It is authenticated evidence." He looked at me the way powerful men look when time is money. Then he saw the binder's tabs. He took it. His eyes flicked to my calm. He nodded once. "Wait here." He did not walk to Daniel. He walked to the woman by the bar with a badge that read Chief Compliance. He spoke 3 sentences. She called 2 associates. The 3 of them opened the binder at a standing table and began to read. The program started. Lights dimmed. A host thanked donors. Applause rose and fell like tides. But at the back of the room, heads bent over paper. A finger traced a line. A phone photographed a page. The compliance officer lifted her head and searched the crowd. Her gaze landed on me. She raised her hand slightly. "Stay." On stage, Daniel stepped to the microphone. "This firm stands for integrity," he said, voice smooth. "We invest in futures." The line drew applause on reflex. Mr. Carver did not clap. He was walking toward the wings with the compliance officer at his shoulder. Lily felt it before Daniel did. She watched the back of the room like a storm reader. Her grip on the clutch tightened. My mother turned, following the eyes of others. She saw Carver speak to a stagehand. The band faltered. The host leaned in, listening to words not meant for him. He looked confused, then serious. "Mr. Hart," the host said, voice uneasy, "please step off stage for a brief moment." Daniel blinked into the lights. "We are live," he said, smiling. "Surely this can wait." "It cannot," Carver replied from the wing. The microphone picked up the line. The room stilled. He led Daniel off. The auditorium hum broke into whispers. Lily moved on instinct, skirting the aisle. My mother followed, faster than pride would normally allow. Harper slid beside me. "Breathe," she whispered. "Let law do the talking." Backstage was bright and plain. No chandeliers, no applause. Just concrete, cables, and a table where Leon had already placed a second binder. The compliance officer spoke first. "Mr. Hart, these entries match your expense submissions. These receipts are not business." The lobby footage timestamps align with your claims of client dinners. The affidavit is sworn. We have cross-checked totals. Policies breached. Repeatedly. Daniel laughed without sound. This is absurd. Slander. Fabrication. My wife. Do not bring Lily into this, Lily said, voice steady. She had the third binder in her hands. She looked at the photo that showed the lobby. She looked at the bill with his handwriting. She looked at the dates that matched nights she had posted from home. Is it true? He reached for charm. You know how people are. You know what your sister is. Grace had taught me the sentence I would use if he tried to pivot. I stepped forward. This is not my claim. This is your trail. Carver's face did not move. Mr. Hart, hand me your phone and your keycard. Daniel tried to laugh again, but the sound snagged in his throat. You cannot be serious. The compliance officer held up a page. This line is not just infidelity. This is policy fraud. If the total holds, we notify the board and the authorities. He turned on me then, the mask gone. You wanted this, he said. You wanted to ruin me because I did not choose you. I met his stare. My mother chose for you. You chose the rest. Lily closed the binder. Her hand shook once. Then she straightened. Give them your phone, Daniel. He did not move. Carver's voice lost all softness. Security. 2 staffers appeared from nowhere. Not dramatic, not cruel, just present. Daniel felt the shift the room felt minutes earlier. Power moving away from him like a tide. My mother stepped forward, voice pitched for pity. This is a misunderstanding. This is family noise made public by a bitter girl. She meant me. She always had. I turned to her. The sentence was simple. You told him to choose Lily. He did. He chose lies after. Tonight is not mine. It is his. Carver held out his hand. Daniel placed the phone into it at last. The security staff waited by the door. The compliance officer spoke into a headset, voice flat. Preserve mailbox, clone device, suspend card access, pull door logs. Harper touched my elbow. We are done, she whispered. Let them work. We turned to leave. Behind us, Lily's voice stopped us at the threshold. It was low. It was clear. Olivia, she said, do not go. We turned back. She faced my mother, not me. You told him to choose me because you wanted a picture, she said. You did not care who bled behind it. My mother tried to laugh the way she does when a waiter makes a mistake. It sounded wrong in the bare hallway. Lily, do not be dramatic. We all want what is best. What you wanted, Lily said, was applause. Silence held. Then the host's voice carried faintly from the auditorium, filling the gap with a distraction no one could hear. Carver cleared his throat. Mrs. Hart, he said to Lily, I am sorry you are learning this here. We will assign a liaison. You will receive copies of our findings. I advise you to leave with a friend tonight. Lily nodded once. Then she looked at me. The expression there was not love and not hate. It was the look of a person who saw the whole picture for the first time and could not unsee it. My phone buzzed in my hand. A new message, no name. A photograph taken through a glass pane. My face in this hallway at this second. The text below it read, You think you ended it. You only opened the door. The gala didn't return to normal. Not even close. Word spread through the ballroom that Daniel had been escorted out. Guests whispered in corners, their eyes darting toward Lily, who sat frozen with her clutch still in her hands. My mother tried to hold court, forcing smiles and telling anyone who would listen that everything was fine. But no one believed her. The mask was gone, and nothing she said could put it back. I stayed near the edge of the room with Harper. I had done what I came to do, but the air around me pulsed with tension. This was no longer a private betrayal. It was public. And once the truth goes public, it can't be caged again. Lily finally stood. Her movements were stiff, mechanical, like someone underwater. She crossed the room slowly, ignoring my mother's hand tugging at her arm. She stopped in front of me. For a moment the room hushed, waiting for a fight. Instead, her voice came low, rough. How long have you known? Long enough, I answered. Her lips trembled. Not with rage but with exhaustion. You could have told me sooner. I held her gaze. Would you have listened? Or would you have laughed with Mom and called me bitter? The silence between us was heavier than shouting. She didn't answer. She just turned and left, heels clicking against the marble floor. My mother followed, panic breaking through her composure. That left Daniel cornered with Carver and the compliance officer. They were still speaking in firm, clipped tones. Daniel's voice rose once. "This is nothing but personal revenge." But Carver shut him down with a wave of his hand. Security flanked the exit. The firm wasn't playing games anymore. I saw my father near the back wall, standing apart from everyone else. He didn't join the chaos. He didn't try to excuse anyone. He simply nodded at me, a small, quiet acknowledgement that said, "I saw it this time. And I won't look away again." Harper leaned close. "You've detonated the bomb. Now comes the fire." She was right. The night didn't end quietly. Guests poured out, phones buzzing, already spreading the story across their circles. By the time I stepped outside, I could feel the storm moving online. Screens lit up with updates. People were recording, snapping photos, whispering names. Daniel's career wasn't just cracking in private. It was burning in real time. But the fallout wasn't only professional. It was personal. When I reached my car, Lily was standing nearby. She wasn't crying. She wasn't screaming. She looked hollow, emptied out. "He made me his stage prop," she said, voice flat. "Just like Mom made me hers." I didn't reply. "Not yet." She looked at me again, searching, and for once there was no smugness in her eyes. Only defeat. She walked away before I could speak. Back at home, the messages started immediately. My mother's number lit up my screen, voicemail after voicemail. Her tone shifted wildly. One moment furious, the next pleading. "You've humiliated us. You've humiliated Lily. How could you do this to family? Then, come home. We can fix this. Don't let outsiders destroy us." I didn't answer. Harper sat on my couch, her hand steady on mine. "Do not engage," she reminded me. "She will spin anything you give her. Let the silence stand." Daniel wasn't silent. By midnight, my inbox was flooded with his messages. Some begged, "We can talk. Please don't do this." Others threatened, "You'll regret crossing me. You think you're safe, but you're not." He was unraveling, his words bouncing from one extreme to another. "Grace called me at dawn. They'll push hard today. Daniel will try to rally allies. Your mother will play the victim. Lily will either collapse or wake up. Stay centered. Our evidence is safe. The firm has taken control. They can't bury this now." I stepped onto my balcony, the city still gray in morning light. For the first time, I felt not like the forgotten daughter, not like the girl left behind. I felt like the one who had shifted the balance of power. But even as that strength filled me, a shiver ran down my spine. The anonymous message still burned in my memory. "You think you ended it. You only opened the door." My phone buzzed again. A new message. A single image. My mother outside my apartment building, staring up at my window. She stood on the sidewalk in a coat too bright for morning. My mother. Head tilted. Eyes fixed on my window like she could will me back into the old script. I did not move the curtain. I watched from the side and let the scene play. She called. I let it ring. She called again. Then she texted, "Come down. We talk now." Harper woke on the couch when my phone buzzed the third time. "Do not go alone," she said. "If you go, keep it public." I nodded. We took the elevator. The lobby felt colder than usual. The front desk clerk glanced up and then looked away, sensing trouble. Outside, my mother turned toward the doors like a magnet had pulled her. Her smile was too wide. Her eyes were sharp. "Olivia," she said. "Enough theater. You made your point. Now fix what you broke." I kept distance. I broke nothing. I showed what was already broken. She laughed. It sounded like glass. "You do not understand the damage." Daniel called. "He is devastated. Lily is humiliated. Our friends are asking questions. This is cruelty. You will apologize." Harper stayed at my shoulder, silent and solid. I asked one question. "Did you tell Daniel to choose Lily?" Her smile flickered. "We all gave advice. Did you say I would never be enough?" She looked past me toward the street. I said what a mother must say. I protected a future. "No," I said. You designed a picture. She stepped closer. You will meet Daniel and the pastor this evening. We will settle this as a family. You will retract. You will tell the firm you exaggerated. If you do not, there will be consequences. Legal consequences? I asked. Or the ones you invent at brunch? Her face tightened. Do not be cruel. I raised you. I felt the old ache. Then I let it pass. You raised me to be quiet, I said. I am not quiet now. She stared at me like she could still bend me. Then her phone buzzed. She looked down. The color left her face. Without a word, she turned and walked away, heels striking the concrete. The performance had cracked. Harper exhaled. What was that? I did not know. We went back upstairs. The answer was waiting in my inbox. A message from Grace. Short lines. Direct. The firm has suspended Daniel. Access frozen. Internal review opened. Board meets at noon. News will break today. Prepare for calls. The calls began within the hour. Reporters. Former classmates. 2 aunts who never called me unless there were photos to post. I did not answer. I texted my father instead. Are you safe? Yes, he wrote. I am proud of you. Your mother is with Lily. It is not calm there. At 10 Lily called. I stared at the screen until it stopped. She called again. Picked up. Her voice was hoarse. I read everything. I spoke to Carver. He confirmed it. There is more than what you gave me. There is, I said. Why did you not tell me sooner? She asked. Because you would have laughed, I said. Because Mom would have made a joke, and you would have repeated it. Silence. Then a breath. You are right, she said. I did not want truth. I wanted the picture. Another breath. What do I do now? The question struck me. It was the first time she had asked me for anything since we were girls. Call Grace, I said. She will protect you. She will not let him use you to hide. I told Mom I am leaving the house, she whispered. She called me ungrateful. She said you poisoned me. A pause. I am packing now. Take copies, I said. Take your passport. Take a bag. Go to Harper's. I will send the address. She said thank you so quietly I almost missed it. Then she hung up. By noon the story broke. Headlines flooded my phone. Firm suspends partner amid expense probe. Allegations of misconduct. Internal review. Possible policy violations. The articles did not name me. They did not name Lily. They did not mention my mother. But every person who mattered knew the map behind the words. Daniel texted next. A flood. Rage then charm then threats. You did this. You wanted me. You failed. You will pay. I forwarded every message to Grace. She replied with one line. We will file for protection if he escalates again. He escalated. At 2 o'clock, a black car idled by my building. Not the firm's. Private. Tinted windows. It did not move for 30 minutes. Leon arrived without being asked. He stood on the sidewalk with a folded jacket over one arm and stared at the car until it rolled away. He came upstairs and set a small camera on my shelf. Motion alerts, he said. Front door. Back stairwell. Hall. Paranoid. I asked. Prepared, he said. 3 My mother called again. She did not ask. She declared. You will meet at the church at 6. The pastor will mediate. Family matters stay in family. No, I said. You do not decide that, she snapped. I already did, I said. You do not choose my steps. You think the world will clap for you, she said. They will tire of you. They always tire of angry girls. I am not angry, I said. I am done. She hung up. A minute later my father texted. She will not forgive you for not obeying. That is not your problem. At 4, Lily arrived with a suitcase and eyes that had cried too much. Harper opened the door. Lily stood on the welcome mat like a stranger. She looked smaller than I remembered. I know you do not owe me anything, she said. But I have nowhere to go today. You do now, Harper said and stepped aside. That is who she is. Lily sat at my kitchen table. She looked at the photographs again. She did not cry this time. He will not apologize, she said. He will only try to win. She looked up at me. I am so sorry. The words were simple. They landed like rain on clay. I felt something shift, not clean and not easy but real. I nodded once. We spent the next hour with Grace on speaker. She explained boundaries. She explained steps. She told Lily what to document. She told me what to ignore. Do not meet Daniel. Do not meet your mother without counsel present. If they appear at your door, you call Leon first and me second. The sun began to drop. The apartment grew quiet. For the first time all day my heart slowed. Then my phone buzzed. A new number. A video link. No message. Harper frowned. Do not tap it. It is not a download, Leon said. It is a live feed. I pressed play. The image opened on my screen. A church hallway. Fluorescent lights. A familiar coat. My mother. She spoke to someone out of frame. Then Daniel stepped into view. He was not broken. He was not sorry. He was smiling. My mother put her hand on his sleeve and said a sentence I had heard once before in a kitchen that changed my life. If you want a future, choose Lily. Daniel leaned in and whispered back, audible under the hum of lights. I did. And I will again. We just have to end Olivia's scene. The camera panned left. A hand held the phone. The sleeve was crisp. The cufflink was gold. The voice behind the lens said softly, ready when you are. Then the feed cut to black. The video ended but the words kept echoing. We just have to end Olivia's scene. My hands tightened around the phone until Harper pulled it gently away. Leon replayed the clip, scanning the frame. This wasn't random, he said. Someone inside wanted you to see this. Grace was on speaker within minutes. Her voice stayed calm. Do not panic. This is more leverage. Proves collusion. It proves they are targeting you. Whoever sent it may be on our side. We'll trace the source. That night I didn't sleep. I sat at the kitchen table while Lily dozed on the couch, Harper kept watch at the window, and Leon checked the hall cameras every hour. I kept hearing my mother's voice, the same tone from years ago, the one that pushed Daniel into Lily's arms. Back then it had destroyed me. Now it sounded weaker. Rehearsed. A play that had run too long. By morning the news cycle was relentless. Articles multiplied. Daniel's suspension shifted to indefinite leave pending investigation. Comment sections filled with speculation. Clients pulled contracts. The firm released a statement about values and breaches of trust. His name was everywhere but not the way he wanted. Lily scrolled through her phone, pale and silent. She read headline after headline. Finally she put it down and whispered, "He's finished, isn't he?" "Yes," I said. "But that doesn't mean he won't fight." She nodded slowly. "Then I'll fight too." It wasn't forgiveness. It wasn't sisterly reunion. But it was a start. By the end of the week, Grace had secured protective measures. Daniel was ordered to cease contact. The footage from the church had been traced to a junior associate at the firm, someone who had seen too much and decided I deserved to know. It wasn't friendship. It was survival. But survival is sometimes the truest alliance. My mother tried one last time. She came to my building, standing in the lobby with her coat buttoned too tightly. She asked the clerk to calm me down. I didn't go. Instead, I sent a short message through Grace. You chose your picture. Live with it. That was the end. Daniel lost his position. His finances unraveled under the weight of investigations. The women he thought would protect him disappeared as quickly as they had arrived. And Lily, she didn't run back to him. She filed her own papers. Quietly. Without asking my mother's opinion. As for me, I didn't celebrate with champagne or fireworks. I went for a walk at dawn, breathing in the cold air. I thought about 19-year-old Olivia, standing outside the kitchen, listening to her mother rewrite her future. That girl had been broken. But she had also planted the first seed of resolve. I wasn't broken anymore. I wasn't invisible. I had shown them all what truth looks like when it's no longer silent. And to anyone watching, to anyone listening, I'll say this. Do not let anyone convince you that you are less. Do not let their lies become your story. If someone tries to erase you, if someone tells you that you're not enough, remember you can build your own power. You can turn their betrayal into your weapon. Because revenge isn't just anger. It's justice sharpened by patience. For life. My mother still hasn't forgiven me. Daniel still blames me. But I don't need their forgiveness. I don't need their excuses. I have my truth. And I have my freedom. And that's enough.